Oh, you're in Vancouver. You're in Vancouver, okay. Vancouver. It's getting warm these days. It is certainly getting warm. Yeah, that's right. You don't hear the music? Hey, this thing that's been acting up for me for the past year or so, it's just suddenly gone. That's odd. I haven't updated anything. Wow, that's so cool. I don't have this error anymore. There was this thing, it was causing this error where when I clicked on your comments to show your chat on the screen like this, it would do this thing where it actually functioned as a right click, and so every time I every time I clicked on your comments, it would pop up this additional list of menus. But now that's gone. It's not doing that anymore. That's awesome. All right. Okay. All right. All right. Midi-님 is in Vancouver as well. I'm doing all right. Thanks for asking. How are you doing? I'm doing all right. How are you doing? I'm doing all right. How you doing? I am doing okay. How you doing? 미국 어디 주에 사셨어요, 빨모쌤? I was in California. My entire stay in the U.S. was in California. I never left the state. I may have left the state at one point. My family may have gone on a trip somewhere outside of the state, but I just don't remember leaving the state. So, as far as I'm concerned, I was in California during my entire stay. During my entire stay, I was in California. Hey Jenny, what's up? How's it going? Working Dead Name. Working Dead Name. It's been a while. We haven't seen you in the chat in quite a long time, right? It's been a really long time, hasn't it? The music is a bit loud, isn't it? What? This is your first time? Are you sure? I'm pretty sure I've seen you in the chat. I mean, like I said, it's been a while, but I'm pretty sure I remember seeing you in the chat. What's that? Hold on a second. No, we do not have a fixed schedule, unfortunately. Hopefully we will sometime in the future. You're literally always watching. Oh, that's awesome. It's good to hear. Yeah. 못하는 거 화면에 떠서 너무 민망. Hey, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. No worries. Oh, right, the countdown. I totally forgot about that. Okay, what time is it right now? It's 8:37. So we have, what is that, 23 minutes? Is that 23 minutes? Just a second here. I need to go in here and change that to 23 minutes. Okay, let's... the countdown clock is up. Hopefully nobody's confused. As far as I'm concerned. Oh, you're just repeating what I said. Okay. 토드로 말고 일반 채널은 아직 많이 어렵지만 그래도 열심히 들어볼게. Yeah, you should definitely stay, because you're bound to pick up one or two things. Okay, you're bound to pick up one or two things, and usually that's enough. You should not expect to pick up everything that I put down. That's never the case. I watched Beyonce's Homecoming today since my favorite K-pop artist is her fan. Didn't know she was such an amazing artist. Oh, you mean you didn't know Beyonce was such an amazing artist? Okay. Well, you know, if you're not into that kind of music, I guess you wouldn't really know. But and you know, I don't really consider myself a huge fan, but I do know that she is very, very talented. She is a very, very skilled and talented artist, for sure. No doubt about that. Probably one of the best. Probably one of the best in our generation, or in her generation. How old is she, though? Yeah, you know, I added the hardcore tag a bit later, because as I was making some adjustments to the dialogue that we're going to go through today, I did realize it is a bit of a hardcore dialogue. I mean, there are a few sentences that are really gonna boil your brains. First time taking your glad ever changed my nickname. Oh, is that right? What was it before? When's that ever stopped you? Yeah. When's that ever stopped you? Rosie name, hello. I'm having late dinner now. So what's for dinner? What do you have? My favorite K-pop artist is Kevin from The Boys, and he's from Vancouver. Your favorite K-pop artist is Kevin from The Boys. Ironically, although they're K-pop artists, they have American names and an American group name as well. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that, obviously, but kind of ironic, right? I'm so happy to watch streaming. I'll cover today's English stuff. Okay, that's great. Yeah. My husband started to watch your toddler video last week. He repeats every sentence in your video. Oh, well, that is cute. Kind of embarrassing on my part, but that is kind of cute. I've been to Beyonce concert in Vancouver. Oh, really? Okay. That must have been exciting. That was crazy, yeah? My gosh, I can't even imagine what that would be like. People would go, because she is like, you know, I'm pretty sure. I mean, I don't think I'm the only one thinking this way about her, but she is like one of the best in her generation, isn't she? When you've been under so much stress, is there any way to decompress? I think that's different for everybody. Everybody's different. I don't think there is a single method that works for everybody. There's no one-size-fits-all solution to stress, especially when it comes to stress, because the source of the stress is different for everybody as well. And, you know, different things work for different people. So I don't think, I mean, just because something works for me doesn't mean it's going to work for you or anybody else. So I think it's just one of those things we have to figure out for ourselves, you know? It's just one of those things that we have to figure out for ourselves. What did you have for dinner? I had a fried fish cutlet, and it was horrible. It tasted okay, but later I found, because I had it delivered to my place. Later, as I was finishing the last bite, I noticed that the plastic tray that was containing the fish cutlet was like melted. Can you believe that? And so, you know, for the past couple of hours, I've been trying to kind of erase that from my memory. But, yeah. As I was finishing the last bite, I noticed the plastic container that contained the fish cutlet. It was like melted, like half of it was melted. Oh my gosh. Like melted and disfigured. First, I thought it was just kind of crumpled up because maybe the delivery driver was kind of rough on the street. But, oh my gosh, it was actually melted. Yeah, it was horrible. I don't even want to think about it. Hello, Mpampanim. She's 42, if I remember correctly. Oh, okay. So yeah, time flies. I can't even believe she's 42. I mean, who would look at Beyonce and think she's 42? Gosh. 쌤, 라이브와 전화영어 2년 차인데 같은 실수 계속 반복하고 끝나면 이렇게 말할 걸 무한 반복이에요. 들리는 건 좀 나아졌는데 이대로 계속하면 실력이 늘었는지 고민이 늘어났다고요? If you're always thinking about whether or not your English is improving, and if you're constantly thinking about that and worrying about that, that is very valuable time that can be spent in other ways. Meaning that you can spend the time worrying about it and trying to analyze your improvement, how much you've improved, and the time that you spend assessing yourself, that's time that can be spent in much better ways. Does that make sense? Because if you really think about it, like worrying about that doesn't really do anything. Worrying about that doesn't really do anything. Adam, how's your weekend? Do we have an Adam here? Do we have an Adam here? 토들러 1. 나는 하드코어는 무서우니까 눈이나 입으로만 참여해야지. That's fine. That's fine. Sam, are you eager to reach million? Well, you know, at this point, I don't think... I mean, yeah, it would be incredible. It would be an amazing moment. It would be really cool, very surreal. But, you know, at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter that much. You know, that's not why I do this. It's not why we get together like this, you know, a couple times a week. It's not why I film myself. It's not why I make videos. So, but it would be very amazing. It would be amazing, but I guess at some point, probably a lot later than I think it's gonna be, but it's gonna happen at some point as long as I keep doing this. But you know, it doesn't really matter that much. 오늘 It's funny you should say that 이란 표현을 봤는데요. 저는 should를 강한 추측, 충고 정도밖에 모르는데요. 이 문장에서 어떻게 쓰인 걸까요? It's funny you should say that. 가정법에서 should that happen 이런 식으로 쓰는 거 들어보셨어요? Should that happen? Should that be the case? You know, should he 등등등. 그거랑 아마 같은 개념일 거예요. 가정법에서 should를 쓰이는 방식이 있는데 그 개념이랑 같은 개념일 거예요. 그 should는. Yeah. Have you ever been to any concerts? I'm not sure if concert means the same thing as in Korea, though. Been to EJOX. Oh yeah, concert. Yeah, concert is a concert. I have been to a few concerts, not many. I'm not really a concert-going kind of guy, but although when I was, I mean, this is completely different, but when I was in university, I actually performed in many concerts. I think that's a lot more fun. You're on the treadmill? Okay. What does your typical morning look like? My typical morning? Feeding the dogs, having breakfast and coffee with my wife, and working. That's what my typical morning looks like. For me, it's dancing, especially dancing K, but that makes me feel much better. Okay. Oh, you mean how you deal with your stress? All right. That sounds very good. Sounds very good. Sam, I was out of gas, so I dropped by the gas station. I spent time filling gas. Oh, okay. Yeah. It's a good thing that there was a gas station nearby when you were out of gas, right? 42, can't believe it. Even I watched the movie The Road, which really recommended. Hey, that was pretty good, wasn't it? I watched that from time to time. I go back to that movie from time to time. I just love the simplicity of the movie. It's just so straightforward and simple, and yet there's a lot of depth to the movie, and I really love that about the movie. In the class, I learned love-hate relationship, so I said it feels like English, and I have a love-hate relationship. Feels like, yeah, take it. It feels like. Oh no, it feels like and I take it are very, very different. They're very, very different. I take it은 상대방이, 그러니까 단순히 내가 가진 의견을 얘기할 때 쓰는 게 아니라 상대방이 한 말에서 추정되는 것에 대한 얘기를 네, 비교적 careful하게 얘기를 하는 거예요. 상대방의 한 어떤 얘기에 대해서 이런 건가 보죠? 이런 건가 봐요. 약간 이렇게 확인을 구하는 동시에 추정을 확인하는 그런 느낌의 말이에요. I take it은. It feels like은 말 그대로 그냥 어떤 것 같다 라고 얘기를 하는 거고요. 전화요. Let's see. I made whole wheat bread and New York cheesecake today. They are heavenly, which made me wish to share some with you. That would have been really awesome. That would have been awesome. Didn't I complain about that? Well, actually, my wife was the one who actually ordered. She's the one who ordered the food on her phone, and so she used her account to write. I don't know if she actually wrote a review about that. She took a picture of the melted plastic container, and I don't know if she sent the owner a message or wrote a review. I didn't really check, but she did something. 어떤 사람과 이야기할 때 실수하고 나면 실수했구나 하지만 다음에 같은 실수를 하게 되나요? Yeah, of course. And that's fine. Don't worry about it too much. If there is a mistake that really bothers you, then write it down somewhere. You have to write it down, and so that you can actually remind yourself of that mistake. I think writing things down in locations where you can actually see, where your eyes are constantly, where you're constantly looking at, like the walls of your rooms, like your refrigerator. And I think that's a very good method to use when it comes to, reminding yourself things that you want to be reminded of. So, okay, it's going to be US who will be so excited when you have it's going to be you. Well, I mean, like I said, that would be awesome. Perform in concert? Well, I used to play the guitar a little bit, and I used to be really into rock music, and when I was in the university, I didn't study. So I did really bad in school as a student. All I did was just, play the guitar and just fool around and just be stupid. Yeah. No, not professional. No, nowhere near professional. Thank you, Half Moon. Thank you for that. Okay, so this is a good example of using I take it. So I told you that I performed quite a lot when I was in university, and so this is a perfect time to say, I take it you were I take it you were in a band when you were in college. Not a musician, because a musician is someone who plays music as a professional, professionally, but not a musician. But in this case, you can say, I take it you were in a band in college. Oh, you were in a band in college, I take it? Because I gave you that clue, okay? No, it's okay. It's all right. It's going to take some time. Why don't you make a dialogue video including your performing the instrument? I don't know. I don't really see how that would turn out well. The alien head is constantly spinning. Very cute. Yeah, I thought that was very cute too. Pay it forward? Yeah, it's used. Pay it forward. 이럴 때 쓰는 게 맞냐고요? Pay it forward? No. Paying it forward means to kind of return the favor that you received. Yeah, so it's like, yeah. It's like repaying your karma debt. Repaying your karma debt. Paying it forward. Kind of returning the favors and the good deeds that were given to you. Nowadays, I've been watching Live Academy Taller and making my own sentence to use that presentation at the video. It's really nice. Oh, that's great. Thanks for letting me know. That's good to know. Good to hear. Always good to hear. I was salty because I didn't get a job and I really didn't think there would be a turnaround. Yesterday, I got the opportunity. Oh, you got the job. All right, make it YW. Hey, it's been a while, by the way. I haven't seen you in the chat for a while. So, how have you been? I mean, obviously you have good news for us. That's great. You got a job. So when do you begin? I want to see this see this channel subscriber over 1 million. I mean, yeah, that would be great. I mean, we've been so close to 1 million for a really long time, so we're way overdue. Especially considering the amount of content that I've been uploading. It's going up at a very slow rate right now. Eventually it will, I guess, at some point, but I don't think it's going to surprise me that much. I mean, like I said, it would be awesome, but... Jang-se님, it's been a while. I'm going for a walk, listening to this video, but I feel small pain in my knee. Should go back to home, focus on the class. That happens to me sometimes too. Like out of the blue, for no reason at all. Sometimes, I mean, I don't feel any pain right now, but I don't know. Every now and then, when I'm walking down the stairs, there's this shooting pain in my knee. I don't know where it's from. 혹시 미교포이냐고요? I used to be, not anymore. I used to be, but not anymore. I haven't been back to the States since '94. I've been in Korea since 1994. So the answer to your question is no. How long are you going to teach today? Don't know. Depends on how quickly we can get through the dialogue. So can't really say. How are you doing? Everyone? Thank you for stopping by here. Respect you guys. Probably out this hour. Yeah, 추가영상도. It feels like it's been a really long time since we've seen you in the chat. It's been a while. Now that I take it you were in a band, I'm curious about your favorite singer of genre of music. Actually, funny you should say that, because that's actually the topic of today's dialogue, asking about like favorite types of music and stuff. So we'll get into that pretty soon. Well, to answer this question right now, I guess, I don't really have a very specific genre of music that I necessarily prefer or like more than others. I tend to listen to a wide range of music, and it really depends on what I'm doing. James Yoni, hi there. I'm still working. I think I'll be going on until about midnight. I'm gonna say hello here and be off. Okay, that's sorry to hear that. So you're working late today. Must be a busy time of the year for you at work. Have you been well? I can't believe it's gonna be February soon. Yeah, it's gonna be February, right? Like the day after tomorrow is already February. Oh, thank you. I picked it out myself. 쌤, 나 운동하긴 해. 하면 I do work out인데 그거 멋지긴 하겠지. 같은 거에서는 is를 활용해서 비슷한 느낌을 낼 수 있는 방법은 멋지긴 하겠지. Would be. Yeah, that would be. That would be cool. That would be awesome. Would be. 멋지긴 하겠지에서는 가정법이 섞인 뉘앙스죠. So that would be cool. That would be great. Yeah. Okay, 2.5 minutes on the clock. Mone님, hey, it's been a while. Just came back from recycling. Okay, I'm glad that I'm done before the live show. Okay. Oh, recycling, you can do that in like less than 5 minutes, right? Unless you had like several bags full of recyclables. 정크리스님, 김서준님. 어릴 때 미국에 계셨기 때문에 내 이름처럼 유창하신 거죠, 쌤? 우리는 아무리 노력해도 쌤 같아지지는 않을 듯이요. That depends. I mean, there's no need to remind yourself of that. Because, as English learners, one of the things that will really hold you back is the constant reminding of why you'll never improve. And it's really, I think it's really easy for learners to kind of fall into that kind of slump mindset. You know, yeah. You're kind of sabotaging yourself, setting limits for yourself, and just convincing yourself that you can't do this. It's very easy to fall into that trap. And I feel like I should remind you that's probably the worst thing you can do for yourself. That's probably the worst thing you could do for yourself. And to answer that question, that's right. I mean, you'll probably never be as good as a native, but that shouldn't be your goal. Your goal should not be to be as good as a native. Your goal should be to improve. To improve. Been taught about the word, but I don't remember correctly. It's when you spend a long holiday and it's very hard to get back to normal routine. Could you let me know that word? Not really sure. Like holiday blues? Okay, we're beginning. Oh, very soon. Okay. All right. Hey, everybody. How are you all doing today? I hope everyone is doing great. I hope you're all having a great evening. 하루 종일 토도 영상 제가 항상 하는 얘기가 있는데 이거 혹시나 해서 그걸 노파심이라고 하나요? 혹시나 해서 하는 얘기인데 여러분이 영어를 배우는 시간이 전적으로 강의를 시청하는 시간이 되면 안 돼요. 강의를 그거는 마치 운전을 배우려는 사람이 진짜 이거는 it's not a far-fetched analogy. 이거는 뭔가 좀 연관성이 없는 그런 게 아니라 진짜로 거의 비슷해요. 운전을 배우려는 사람이 하루 종일 강의를 시청하는 거랑 비슷한 거예요. Okay? So, yeah, think about that. 영어를 배우는 시간이 전적으로 강의를 시청하는 시간이 된다라는 것은 운전을 배우려는 사람, 피아노를 배우려는 사람, 운동을 배우려는 사람이 배우려는 그 시간 전체를 강의를 시청하는 데 쓰는 거랑 똑같은 거예요. It's exactly the same. Okay? 언어는 운전이나 뭐 운동이나 요리나 춤, 그림 그리기 이런 거랑 똑같이 많이 해야 느는 거예요. 강의를 시청해서 느는 게 아니라 많이 써야 늘어요. 요리도 많이 해봐야 느는 것처럼 많이 써야 늘어요. 어디서 쓰느냐? 일단 외국인과 당장 얼굴 보면서 얘기를 할 수 없다면 온라인 상으로라도 다른 사람들이 올린 글을 읽고 거기에다 댓글 달고 정말 운 좋게 내가 단 댓글이나 내가 쓴 글에 누가 댓글 달면 그 사람이랑도 소통을 하고 그렇게 간접적으로나마 가장 좋은 것 중에 하나는 지난번에도 얘기했지만 그 트위치 이런 실시간 방송을 전문으로 하는 그런 플랫폼이 있죠. twitch.com 그런 데 가서 Just Chatting이라는 카테고리로 들어가서 그냥 대충 막 이런저런 사람은 들어가 봐요. 그냥 이 사람은 무슨 얘기하고 있지? 아무나 들어가. 사람 너무 많지 않은 데 들어가서 무슨 얘기하고 있지? 뭐 대충 내가 약간이나마 좀 공감할 수 있는 그런 어떤 일상적인 얘기를 하고 있는 사람을 찾아서 거기 가서 다른 사람들과 채팅하면서 그 사람들과 간접적으로나마 그렇게 소통을 하면서 그렇게 시작을 하세요. That's very, very important. 채팅 앱이 아니라 이런 식의 지금 저희가 하고 있는 이런 실시간 방송을 전문으로 하는 그런 플랫폼이에요. 트위치. 왜 최근에 네이버에서 시작한 치지직 있죠. 치지직이 딱 그 트위치를 타겟해서 이제 디자인한 걸 거예요. 제가 알기로는. 그거랑 똑같은 거예요. Okay? It's like 아프리카 TV처럼요. Right? Yeah, twitch.com. twitch.com 들어가서 그 카테고리 중에서 딱 들어가면은요. 주로 많이 보이는 게 게임이에요. 게임 방송. 근데 그거 말고 보면은 Just Chatting이라는 카테고리가 있어요. Just Chatting. 아마 게임보다 실제로 더 인기가 많은 카테고리예요. 거기에 들어가셔서 아무나 찾아서 그냥 막 말 걸고. 오케이? 선생님이 게임 좀 하면서 영향 주면 안 돼요. I suppose I could. I suppose I could. I've been trying so hard to do some gaming, but I'm just so terrible at it. And 시청하는 건 돼요. 그게 한국 서비스가 안 된다는 게 뭐냐면 한국에서 방송을 개설을 하지 못하는 걸 거예요. 아마 제가 알기로는. I don't know. I might be wrong about this, but hey, yesterday I went on Twitch. I went on Twitch and I was able to tune into other people's streams. Yeah. So, but I may be wrong about that. Yeah. Anyway, hey Kim, what's up? What is up? 김태현님, 유현님, 유현님. 이번에 디즈니 영화 Wish 봤는데 거기 선생님 알려주신 표현이 나와서 자막도 보기 전에 바로 알아들었는데 너무 기분 좋아하네요. Yeah, I mean, hopefully that'll happen a lot more often in the future. Hopefully. 2월 20 그러면 아예 시청도 안 되는 거예요? VPN 써야 한다고 들었다. Okay. So, yeah. Okay. So it's working now just because the service is still ongoing, but 그러면 진짜 그거 진짜 고쳐야 되는데. 전 세계에서 다 시청하고 있는 그런 콘텐츠를 한국에서는 못 본다고요? That's ridiculous. That's absolutely ridiculous. 미국인이냐고요? No, very far from it. Very, very far from it. Maybe a little closer than you, but far from it. Far from it. 어떤 면에서는 여러분보다 더 한국적인 부분도 있을걸요, 아마. 요즘 들어 긴 문장들이 살짝 자연스럽게 그냥 쑥 들어오는 기분이 들긴 했어요. Oh, that's very good. That is very, very good. That is very, very good. Yeah, don't be afraid about making mistakes. That's right. 선생님 대화문 여러 번 보고 입에 뱉을 정도로 따라 해봐야지. 그 상황에 바로 쓸 수 있더라고요. 아는 게 없으니 뭐라고 해야 할지, 무슨 얘기인지 좀 파악하는 것도 어렵더라고요. 그 상황에 바로 쓸 수 있더라고요. 아는 게 없으니 뭐라 말해야 할지, 무슨 얘기인지 파악하는 것도 어렵더라고요. Not exactly sure what you're getting at with this, but okay. 대학원에서 영어 시험 성적을 원해서 포기하려다가 쌤 만나고 영어 공부 1년 열심히 해보기로 결심했어요. 2004년부터. Oh, that's good. That's always good. 국내 스트리머는 아프리카랑 네이버가 나눠서 흡수할 것 같아요. 해외 스트리머도 보고 싶은데. 그러게요. 그거 진짜 너무 안타까운 건데. 유튜브에서도 스트리밍 많이 하잖아요. 유튜브요. 아마 유튜브에 들어가면 라이브 스트림만 따로 그러네. Why didn't I think of that? I'm so stupid. 유튜브에서도 라이브 스트리밍만 검색이 될 거예요. Yeah. 그렇게 해서 찾아보면 되겠네요. 지금도 화질 낮아서 답답하다고요? Are we having network issues right now? It says that I have pretty good connection on my end, but anyway. 영어를 원어민보다 더 잘. No, that's not true. That's not true. 여러분이 원어민들을 영어를 너무 많이 안 들어봐서 그런 거예요. Okay. All right, let's get started. Let's get started. 괜찮아요. 원어민처럼 발음 못해도 괜찮아요. 영어는 어차피 전 세계적으로 여러 가지 버전이 있어요. 그래서 이제 원어민들은 영어가 모국어인 사람들, 그러니까 뭐 미국이나 영국, 호주 영어를 완전 제1 영어로 쓰는 데서는요. 눈 감고 외국 사람이 영어를 하는 거 듣잖아요. 이 사람 영국 사람이다. 자메이카 사람이다. 이 사람 중국 사람이다. 사실 바로 구분이 돼요. Is that a problem? No, that's not a problem at all. There are already various versions of English that's being used worldwide, and so you don't have to sound like a native. You really don't have to. Don't worry about that. You don't have to sound like a native. Okay. Okay. 네, 그게 문제예요. 그거를 극복을 해야 돼요. 제가 최근에도 한 얘기인데 그거를 극복을 못 하잖아요. 그러면은 영어를 앞으로 정상적으로 못 배울 가능성이 너무 높아요. 진짜로 희망이 요만해져요. 희망이 거의 없어져요. 내가 틀리게 말하고 내가 얘기한 거를 못 알아듣고 심지어 내가 어떤 얘기를 했는데 오해를 해서 그 사람이 막 열받아 했어요. 그런 일을 겪더라도 계속 해야 돼요. 그냥 어쩔 수가 없어요. 오케이? 운전처럼 배워야 돼요. 운전처럼. 남들한테 민폐 좀 끼치면서 못해갖고 나 때문에 막 차들 제대로 못 다니고 사고도 심지어 나고 이렇더라도 계속 해야 운전이 느는 거잖아요. Exactly the same thing. Exactly the same thing. Okay. All right, let's begin. Let's begin. 시작해 볼게요. I wasn't actually going to stream today, but I missed you guys. 뭐 무슨 음악 들으세요? 여러분 무슨 음악 들으세요, 여러분? 무슨 음악 들으세요? 레게, 재즈. 아니 무슨 음악 듣는지를 영어로 해보라고요. 질문을. 무슨 음악을 듣는지를 영어로 질문해보라. What kind of music do you listen to? What kind of music do you listen to? So, hey, what kind of music do you listen to? What kind of music do you listen to? What kind of music do you listen to? 자유롭게 그냥 따라 하시면 돼요. 뭐 이 정도는 쉽죠. 너무 쉽죠. 그렇죠? What kind of music do you listen to? What kind of music? What sort of music이라고도 많이 하고요. What sort of music do you listen to? Listen to 말고 그러니까 do you listen to 말고 what kind of music are you into? 뭐 이렇게도 많이 묻고요. What kind of music are you into? What kind of music do you listen to? 뭐 힘든 건 많아요. 뭐 오늘 힘든 것 중에 이 정도는 진짜 아무것도 아닐 거예요. 사실 오늘 hardcore이기 때문에 좀 이따가 there's going to be very very difficult moments for you. Very challenging stuff waiting for you guys. What kind of music do you listen to? 자, 이제 B의 답변을 B가 어떤 식으로 답변을 하고 싶은 거냐면 이런 느낌으로요. 글쎄 뭐 가장 좋아하는 장르만 놓고 보자면 뭐 클래식인 것 같아. 이런 느낌으로 대답을 하고 싶어요. 글쎄 뭐 제일 좋아하는 장르만 이렇게 놓고 보자면 클래식인 것 같아. 약간 이런 느낌으로요. 글쎄 뭐 제일 좋아하는 장르로 놓고 말하자면 뭐 클래식인 것 같아. 오케이. 물론 이것도 이제 여러 가지 방법이 있겠지만 제가 오늘 여러분에게 보여드리고 여러분이 오늘 연습했으면 좋겠는 것은 이거예요. Well, as far as my favorite genre goes, I'd have to say classical. Well, as far as my favorite genre goes, I'd have to say classical. Well, as far as my favorite genre goes, I'd have to say classical. Well, as far as my favorite genre goes, I'd have to say classical. 만약에 goes가요. 오늘 설명 안 할 거예요. 저 이거 goes에 대해서 설명 안 할 거예요. 왜냐면 여러분이 너무 모든 거를 다 완벽하게 이해를 해야 된다라는 집착을 좀 버렸으면 좋겠어요. 있는 그대로 그냥 받아들였으면 좋겠어요. Okay? as far as my favorite genre goes. 근데 이거 하나는 드릴게요. goes를 뭘로 대체를 할 수 있느냐? 더 어려운 방법은 있어요. As far as my favorite genre is concerned. As far as my favorite genre is concerned, I'd have to say classical. 뭐 이렇게 할 수는 있어요. But I recommend goes. Okay? goes를 일단 오늘은 추천해요. Is concerned. As far as my favorite genre is concerned, I'd have to say classical. 일단 오늘은 그냥 goes. Well, as far as my favorite genre goes, I'd have to say classical. 그 의미는요. 그 의미는 그러니까 이게 무슨 의미냐면요. As far as my favorite genre goes라는 것은 내가 지금 이 말이랑 함께 할 이 얘기가 어디까지의 해당 사항이 있는 건지에 대한 거예요. 오케이? 그래서 지금 어떤 음악을 듣느냐고 물었죠. 듣느냐? 사실 그러니까 이 대답을 하기 전에 사실 이렇게 생각한 거예요. 나 좀 되게 많이 거의 다 듣는데 나름대로 그걸 이렇게 간추린 거예요. narrow down을 한 거예요. 이렇게 어떻게 narrow down을 했냐? 요 영역으로 narrow down을 하는 거예요. 일단 요 category로 이렇게 narrow down해서 그걸로만 놓고 보자면 I'd have to say classical. Okay. So, as far as my favorite genre is concerned, as far as my favorite genre goes, I'd have to say classical. I'd have to say classical. And what kind of music do you listen to? Well, as far as my favorite genre goes, I'd have to say classical. I'd have to say classical. Okay. All right. I'd have to say. 이것도 정말 많이 쓰는 표현이에요. I'd have to say. 그렇단 얘기는 그러니까 약간 지금 나도 나름 그걸 지금 계산하고 있는 거예요. 계산하면서 결과값은 이건 것 같은데 이렇게 얘기를 하는 거예요. 그러니까 이게 내가 제일 좋아하는 장르는 뭐다라고 뭐 이전부터 확실하게 그동안 확고하게 딱 어떤 있었던 게 아니라 지금 이 자리에서 나름 지금 그 결과값을 지금 찾고 있는 거예요. Does that make sense? Okay. So, well, as far as my favorite genre goes, I'd have to say classical. Okay. 그렇죠. 이제 약간 직역을 섞어서 얘기를 하면은 이게 맞죠. 네, 클래식이라고 해야 될 것 같다. 뭐 이런 건데. 이해하려는 그 시간 10번이라도 더 말해보는 게 낫다는 거. Yeah, absolutely. 그게 너무 모든 거를 단어 하나하나를 그러니까 이런 거랑 비슷한 거예요. 보세요. 이런 거 보세요. 이런 거랑 비슷한 거예요. 지금 이걸 제가 아까 어떻게 해석을 했냐면은 내가 제일 좋아하는 장르만 놓고 보자면 잠깐만 이 놓고라는 말을 왜 하는 거야? 왜 그걸 놓는다고 해? It's not really important. 설령 그 왜 놓는다라고 표현하는지를 이해를 하더라도 그 표현을 내가 쓰는 게 더 수월해지진 않아요. 오케이? 그게 더 쉬워지진 않아요. 뭐 약간 재밌을 수는 있죠. 약간 뭔가 뒷얘기 그 배경에 대한 얘기를 이렇게 들으면은 마치 무슨 스토리가 있고 뭐 이게 또 이렇게 연결되는구나. It can be fun. It can be fun. But at the end of the day, it's not going to help you say it. You know? So. 이 발음 genre. I can't explain it. The best I can do is just show it to you. Just, just demonstrate the sound for you. That's all I can. Genre. Genre. Classical. 클래시컬 유엉님, 클래시컬에서요. 맨 마지막에 나는 C 발음은 쌍기역 발음이 나야 돼요. 쌍기역 발음이 나야 돼요. classical. 근데 뭐 꼭 그렇게 해야 되는 거 아니에요. 클래시컬이라고 해도 뭐 알아는 들을 거예요. Don't worry about it. 장르 발음이 너무 좋다고요? 장르 발음이 좋다고 한 사람 처음 봤어. I've never seen anyone say that they actually like the pronunciation of genre. That's crazy. Oh my gosh. Okay, genre. Hey, what kind of music do you listen to? Hey, what kind of music do you listen to? Well, as far as my favorite genre is concerned, as far as my favorite genre goes, I'd have to say classical. 라고 했더니 A가 아니 진짜로 아니 진짜로 아니 진짜로 No, seriously. No, seriously. No, seriously. No, seriously. Hey, what kind of music do you listen to? Well, as far as my favorite genre goes, I'd have to say classical. No, seriously. No, seriously. Yeah. Really? Classical. You. Really? Classical. You. 왜 이렇게 놀래? 야, 제니콘, 네가 클래식 음악을 왜 이렇게 놀래? What's so surprising? What's so surprising? What's that surprising은 안 되고요. What's so surprising 괜찮고요. Why are you so surprised? 좋아요. 네, why are you so surprised? 뭐, 네, this is perfect. Astonished는 조금 어울리진 않고 그냥 surprised. What makes you that surprised 보다는요. 잠깐만. 잠깐만, 나도 그렇게 했나? 난 그렇게 얘기를 안 했는데. 오케이, 뭐 이것도 정답이라는 건 없어요. 여러 가지 방법은 있는데 일단 저는 어떻게 했냐면 저는 이 다이얼로그를 짜는 시점에서 어떻게 했냐면 Why does that surprise you? 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 어떻게 보면 이 지금 많은 분들이 왜 그렇게 놀라냐를 지금 이렇게 다른 식으로 많이 질문해 주셨는데 이게 더 좋다라는 게 아니에요. 이건 뭐 여러 가지로 가능한데 이런 방식으로도 얘기를 한다라는 거. 이번 기회에 surprise를 직접 동사로 그냥 생 동사로 저렇게 그냥 써서 저렇게도 얘기를 하는구나. Why does that surprise you? Why does that shock you? Why does that surprise you? Why does that bother you? Why does that excite you so much? Why does that annoy you? Why does that frustrate you? 이런 식으로 질문을 많이 한다라는 거. 오케이? 죄송해요. 제가 뭐 그 문법이랑 품사 이런 거 용어를 잘 몰라서 나름 그냥 제 나름대로 그 나름 쓰는 걸로 그냥 얘기를 해버렸어요. Sorry about that. What's anyway. Why does it make you surprised? 안 되진 않아요. 안 되는 건 아닌데 하지 마세요. Okay? 안 되는 건 아닌데 하지 마세요. Why does that surprise you? 이거 그러니까 why are you so surprised? Why are you so surprised? 뭐 이 정도면 it's perfect. It's perfect. 근데 이번에는 그나마 조금 덜 익숙한 이걸로 가볼게요. Why does that surprise you? Why does that surprise you? Why does that surprise you? 제가 이거랑 비슷한 형식으로 얘기하는 다양한 거 좀 전에 얘기했죠. Why does that annoy you? Why does that frustrate you? Why does that bother you? Why does that matter to you? 그렇죠? 이런 식으로도 하는 거. Why does that matter to you? 이런 식으로 많이 얘기를 해요. Okay. So 맨 뒤에 so much를 붙여도 되겠네요. Why does that surprise you so much? 근데 뭐 I don't think that's very necessary. Just why does that surprise you? 그래서 어디까지 왔죠 지금? 어떻게 해서 여기까지 왔죠? Hey, what kind of music do you listen to? Well, as far as my favorite genre goes, I'd have to say classical. No, seriously. Yeah. Really? Classical? You? Why does that surprise you? Why does that surprise you? 자, 여기서 이제 A가 어떻게 respond를 할 거냐면요. 아니, 그냥 예상하지 못한 거라서 그런 거야. 그냥 아니, 그냥 예상하지 못한 거라서 그런 거다. 이런 느낌으로 얘기를 하고 싶어요. 오케이, 이것도 뭐 정답이라는 건 없어요. 여러 가지가 있는데 이런 식으로 반응하는 걸 한번 보여드릴게요. No, it's just unexpected. Is all. No, it's just unexpected. Is all. 아마 영화나 미드 이런 거 많이 보시는 분들은요, 그냥 이래서 그랬던 것 뿐이다. 이래서 그랬던 것 뿐이야. 이런 느낌으로 이렇게 뒤에 is all을 붙이는 거를 많이 들어보셨을 거예요. 그쵸? 들어보신 분 분명히 있죠. 아니면 뭐 어디서 배운 적 있다든가. 이거 실제 회화에서 진짜 많이 쓰는 방법이에요. 많이 쓰는 표현이라고 할까요? 네. No, it's just unexpected is all. It's just unexpected is all. I don't really know about that. 그거는 정확히 잘 모르겠어요. 많이는 봤는데 재미만 있었다. What does that mean? 골드케이님. What does that mean? What? Anyway. No, it's just unexpected is all. No, it's just unexpected is all. No, it's just unexpected is all. 네, 이렇게 많이 얘기를 해요. 이래서 그랬던 것 뿐이다. 그냥 이런 것 뿐이다. 이래서 그러는 것 뿐이다. 이런 얘기할 때 is all. Okay. I just asked out of curiosity is all. 저라면 이 is all가 어울리는 거는요. 지금 만약에 이런 얘기라면 물론 이것도 안 되는 건 아닌 것 같아요. 근데 저라면 만약에 is all을 활용해서 궁금해서 그랬던 거다이면 I was just curious is all 라고 할 거예요. I was just curious. I was just curious is all. I was just curious is all. At all요? 그건 완전히 다른 표현이에요. 지금 그냥 여기서는 딱 이걸 그냥 보여드리려고 하는 거예요. 지금 이거를 뭐 어떻게 또 변형 가능하고 no. 그런 거 생각하시지 마세요. 그냥 just is all. 그냥 이런 것 뿐이다. It's just unexpected is all. It's just unexpected is all. 여기서는 그냥 딱 이거예요. 뭐 단어 하나 뭐 없어요. 그냥 딱 이거예요. is all. Hey, what kind of music do you listen? Hey, what kind of music do you listen to? What kind of music do you listen to? Well, as far as my favorite genre is concerned, as far as my favorite genre goes, I'd have to say classical. No, seriously. Yeah. Really? Classical? You? Why does that surprise you? No, it's just unexpected is all. No, it's just unexpected is all. No, it's just unexpected is all. Okay. 여기 이어서요. 그렇구나. 뭐 그럼 넌 어떤 음악 좋아하는데? 이렇게 질문을 이제 돌리는 거예요. 오케이? 어떻게 얘기하면 좋을까요? 그래? 그럼 넌 무슨 음악 좋아하는데? I see. Well, what about you? What kind of music are you into? I see. Well, what about you? What kind of music are you into? 뭐 이건 쉽죠? 너무너무 쉽죠? I see. Well, what about you? 너는? What kind of music are you into? 해도 되지만 웬만하면 하지 마세요. 왜냐면 너무 어색해요. 그렇게 하면 너무 어색해요. Okay. So I see. Okay. Well, what about you then? What about you? What kind of music are you into? 자, 이제 어떤 특정 장르를 얘기를 할 건데 주로 이걸 많이 듣는다라는 식으로 간략하게 어떻게 얘기하면 좋을까요? 뭐 난 주로 이걸 들어. 근데 뭐 굳이 문장으로까지 다 이렇게 할 필요 없이 그냥 딱 주로 이거. mainly, mostly, 오케이, 좋아요. mainly도 좋고요. mostly도 괜찮고요. mostly로 할게요. mostly 지금 여기서는 땡땡으로 해놨는데 아니다. 땡땡이 아니구나. 오케이. Let's say mostly gangster rap. Mostly gangster rap. Mostly gangster rap. Gangster rap. Mostly gangster rap. Gangster rap? 라고 이제 B가 놀라면서 그렇게 하니까 자 여기서부터가 이제 하드코어 문장이 하나 나올 건데 예전에 저희가 한 번쯤 어느 지문 속에 아마 있었던 것 같아요. 제가 이거를 집중적으로 다룬 적은 없었던 것 같아요. I may have, I'm not really sure. 오케이? 자 여기서 어떤 문장을 저희가 오늘 배울 거냐면요. 이런 문장을 배울 거예요. 일단 여기서 이제 반응을 하겠죠. 갱스터 랩이라고 했더니 하면서 근데 좋아서 듣는다기보다는 집중하는 데 도움이 돼서 되는 게 더 크거든. 이게 말이 되나? 좋아서 듣는다기보다는 집중하는 데 도움이 되는 게 더 크거든. 아니면 그냥 집중하는 데 도움이 되거든. 그냥 이렇게 하는 것도 괜찮아요. 근데 좋아서 듣는다기보다는 집중하는 데 도움이 되거든. Does this make sense? Okay. 이게 저는 우리말이 참 이런 면에서는 한국어가 참 편리한 것 같은 게 지금 이거를 영어에 비해서 한국어가 훨씬 쉬워요. 이게 뭐 이렇다기보다는 물론 이것도 여러 가지 방법으로 할 수는 있어요. 이것도 여러 가지로 가능은 한데 딱 하나의 문장으로 이런 느낌을 내려면은요, 이거 어떻게 문장을 구성을 해야 되냐면, 오케이? 장정현님이 찾으셨네요. It's not so much about as it is about. 근데 about가 아니라 여기서 이제 어떤 형식을 쓸 거냐면, It's not so much as it is 이런 패턴을 쓸 거예요. It's not so much A as it is B. It's not so much A as it is B. 그리고 이 땡땡 부분에는 굉장히 많은 그 형식이 올 수가 있어요. 많은 형식이 올 수가 있어요. It's not so much 뭐뭐를 위한 for pleasure. 일단 간단한 것부터 먼저 갈게요. 잠깐만. For pleasure as it is for focusing. 일단 이게 간단한 버전이에요. 간단한 버전. It's not so much for pleasure as it is for focusing. Focusing better라고 할까요? It's not so much for pleasure as it is for focusing. It's not so much for pleasure as it is for focusing. 그러니까 pleasure, 어떤 그런 흥미, 그런 거를 위한 거라기보다는 그런 것을 위한 것이라기보다는 더 잘 집중을 하기 위한 것이다. 그게 더 크다. 그 요소가 더 크다라는 거예요. It's not so much for pleasure as it is for focusing better. 장정현님, awesome. 장정현님이 또 뭘 한 거죠? Did I miss it? 이 표현 찾아낸 거요? 오케이. 자, 이거를 또 어떤 식으로 얘기를 좀 더 좀 더 자연스럽게 풀어서 할 수가 있느냐? It's not so much that 절로 할 수가 있어요, 또. It's not so much that I enjoy listening to it. 그러니까 아까 땡땡이었던 부분이 that 절로 이렇게 들어갔죠. It's not so much that I enjoy listening to it, as it is a way for me to focus better. 좀 더 풀어서 이렇게도 얘기를 할 수가. It's not so much that I enjoy listening to it, as it is a way for me to focus better. 그리고 이게 앞뒤에 지금 여기서는 for 형식으로 일치를 시켰잖아요. For pleasure, for focusing better. 일치를 꼭 시켜야 되는 건 아니에요. 꼭 그래야 되는 건 아니에요. It's not so much that I enjoy listening to it, as it is a way for me to focus better. Yeah. 네, 김초원님 맞아요. Yes. This is very hardcore. This is very hardcore. This is very, very hardcore. It's not so much that I enjoy listening to it as it is a way for me to focus better. Okay. 그래서 이거 어떤 식으로 얘기할 Gangster rap이라고 했더니 but 하면서 yeah, but it's not so much for pleasure as it is for focusing better. focusing이라고 할까요? 간략하게 여기서는. 그래서 일단은 여러분이 뭐 이 정도로 일단 연습을 먼저 해보고요. 그 다음에 그게 좀 익숙해지면은 이렇게도 한번 연습을 해보고요. Yeah, but it's not so much that I enjoy listening to it, as it is a way for me to focus better. Okay. All right. as가 어떻게 해석되냐고요? I don't know. I'm sorry, but I don't know. 제가 아는 한에서는요. 저도 모르는 거 많아요. 근데 제가 아는 한에서 얘기하면 지금 아까 얘기했던 거 있죠? It's not so much as A as it is B. 이 패턴이 뭐냐면 A라기보다는 B에 더 가깝다. A라기보다는 B가 더 크다. 그러니까 이것도 있긴 하지만 이것도 있긴 하지만 근데 그것보다는 이게 더 크다를 얘기를 하는 거예요. 또는 이것에 더 가깝다. 그거는 이제 내용이 뭐냐에 따라 달라지고요. 그렇게 해석이 되고요. 여기서 as가 각각이 어떻게 해석되는지는 I don't know. I don't know. 오케이. 그리고 아까도 얘기했지만 이 A와 B 자리에는 여러 형태의 게 올 수가 있어요. 또 다른 걸 보여드리자면 어떤 이유에 대해서 설명하자면 우리가 어떤 것의 이유에 대해서 얘기할 때도 여러 가지 표현이 있죠. 뭐가 있어요? 이유에 대해서 얘기할 때 어떤 표현이 있죠? 어떤 표현이 있죠? 그러네요. 첫 번째 as는 없어요. I'm sorry, that my mistake, my bad. 첫 번째 as 없어요. It's not so much A as it is B. Yeah. 그쵸? Because가 있고요. 또 뭐가 있어요? Because가 있고 뭐 due to 그리고 좀 더 많이 쓰이는 그쵸? 뭐 since도 있지만 in order to가 안 나오네. in order to도 있죠, 그렇죠? in order to 이유에 대해서 얘기할 때 물론 이제 엄밀히 따지자면 이제 목적에 대해서 얘기를 하는 거지만, 그렇죠? 그 얘기를 왜 하냐면 여기에 이제 이유에 대한 얘기가 나올 수도 있어요. 예를 들어서 과거에 어떤 일어난 일에 대해서 얘기를 하면서 it wasn't so much because of the weather as it was in order to you know, be better prepared. 뭐 예를 들어서 어떤 행사나 어떤 게 이제 예정돼 있었는데 그게 뭐 연기가 됐다거나 뭐 취소가 됐어요. 그 이유를 놓고 보자면 it wasn't so much because of the weather as it was in order to be better prepared. Does that make sense? It wasn't so much because of the weather as it was in order to be better prepared. 이라는 얘기는 물론 이런 것도 있긴 했었지만 그것보다는 이게 더 컸다. 그죠? 날씨 때문이라 그죠? 딱 그거죠. 날씨 때문이라기보다는 더 준비해서 하기 위한 거였다. Does that make sense? Right. It's not so much. Yeah. Friends에서도 이게 나와요. 이 패턴이 나와요. Friends에서요. Phoebe가 이 패턴을 썼어요. Phoebe가. I remember. 그 장면 기억나세요? 로스가 중력에 대해서 얘기를 했는데 피비가 중력에 대해서 난 중력 난 중력을 믿지 않아라고 했어요. 중력을 안 믿는다고 했어요. She says she doesn't buy it. 그러니까 이런 식으로 얘기를 한 거야. I don't really by the whole concept of gravity. 뭐 이런 비슷한 얘기를 했어요. 그랬더니 로스가 뭐 말이 되느냐? 그거는 뭐 너가 믿고 안 믿고의 문제가 아니라 그거는 그냥 팩트다 이런 식으로 얘기했더니 이제 피비는 자기 딴에는 이런 식으로 얘기를 했어요. I don't feel so much like라고 하면 했을 거예요. I don't feel so much like I'm being pulled as as I feel like I'm being pushed. 뭐 이런 비슷한 얘기를 했을 거예요. 정확하게 딱 I don't know if it was this word by word, but it was something like this. I don't feel so much like I'm being pulled as I feel like I'm being pushed. 이거는 저희가 했던 것보다 심지어 더 어려워요. 그렇죠? 어렵죠? It's very, very difficult. Very, very difficult. 일단 그 의미만 놓고 보자면 내가 당겨지는 것처럼 당겨진다고 느껴진다기보다는 밀리는 것 같은 느낌이 더 든다. 이런 얘기예요. And this is really very, very difficult. 네, 맞아요. As it is는 이제 오늘 저희가 활용하는 패턴이고요. 그렇죠. as 뒤로 다양한 형태가 오는 거죠. 따지자면 이제 전체적인 이게 활용이 굉장히 많아요. Okay? Anyway, alright. 일단 이건 빼놓고요. 이거 뒤로 빼놓을게요. Okay, so going back to our dialogue. 무슨 얘기를 했냐? Hey, what kind of music do you listen to? Well, as far as my favorite genre goes, I'd have to say classical. No, seriously. Yeah, really? Classical? You? Why does that surprise you? No, it's just unexpected is all. I see. Well, what about you? What kind of music are you into? Mostly gangster rap. Gangster rap? Yeah, but it's not so much for pleasure as it is for focusing. It's not so much for pleasure as it is for focusing. It's not so much that I enjoy listening to it as it is a way for me to focus better. 이런 식으로 얘기했구나. Okay, so I don't know. Lately I get the feeling that I'm not so much being pulled down as I am being pushed. Okay, so I think this is a slightly more simpler construction. 조금 더 간단하게 표현을 만들긴 했네요. But it is using that construction. 그 구성을 쓰긴 쓰네요. I get the feeling that I'm not so much being pulled down as I am being pushed. Okay, thank you, Kim. Thank you for that. Thank you very much for that. Yeah, good one. Good one. Okay, so it wasn't so much. 이건 아니고요. 잠깐만. Okay, so it's not so much for pleasure as it is for focusing. It's not so much that I enjoy listening to it as it is. 지금 it is는 it's not와 이제 그 대조를 이루는 거예요. It's not as it is. Okay, it's not so much that I enjoy listening to it as it is a way for me to focus better. 입에 붙으려면은요. 몇 년 걸릴걸요? 뭐냐면 이 표현만 연습하는 게 아니잖아요. 이 표현만 해도 몇 달은 걸릴 거예요. 그런데 다른 것들도 다 하면서 이런 표현이 입에 붙으려면은요. 나름 이거를 신경 쓰면서 막 벽에 붙여가면서 예문 만들면서 나름 신경 쓰면서 영어를 배우면서 하더라도 입에 붙으려면은 몇 년이 걸릴걸요. Okay. All right, so it's not so much that I enjoy listening to it as it is a way for me to focus better. Okay. Alright. 자, 그러면서 이제 그게 왜 그런 건지를 이제 설명을 시작하는데, 그게 말이지 하면서 이제 시작하는 거예요. 그게 말이지. 아니, 그게 왜 흥미가 아니라 어떻게 해서 그게 focus better를 위한 건지는 이제 설명을 해야 될 거 아니에요. 그렇죠? 오케이, I mean도 괜찮아요. I mean도 괜찮고요. 뭔가 설명과 해명을 통해서 상대방한테 이제 상대방의 주의를 끊어. 자, 내 말 들어봐. 약간 이런 게 종합적으로 들어가 있는 게 의외로 you see예요. You see. You see. You see. 그게 말이야. 내가 요즘 음악을 들을 때는 거의 일하고 있을 때거든. 이것도 은근히 어렵겠다. 그게 말이야. 내가 요즘 음악을 들을 때는 거의 일하고 있을 때거든. 어렵죠? 일단 이거를 너무 이 단어 하나하나를 보고 있지 말고 일단 내용은 알았죠. 무슨 말을 하고 싶은지 내용은 알지. 그 내용만 생각하세요. 그 내용만 가지고 자, 이걸 영어로 어떻게 얘기하면 될까? 오케이, 일단 오케이. When I listen to music, I'm working. 일단 이게 기본 틀이에요. 그렇죠? 이게 기본 틀이에요. 오케이. 뭐 이것도 정답이라는 건 없어요. You see, most of the time I listen to music nowadays, I'm working. You see, most of the time I listen to music nowadays, I'm working. You see, most of the time I listen to music nowadays is when I'm working이라고 할게요. You see, most of the time I listen to music nowadays is when I'm working. You see, most of the time I listen to music nowadays is when I'm working. Most of the time I listen to music nowadays is when I'm working. 그리고요, 지금 여러분이 이걸 보면서 이게 지금 어렵게 느껴지실 거예요. 이 전체적인 구성이나 이런 게. 이거를 그러니까 지금 이제 어려운데 이거를 조금 더 와닿고 입에 붙게 하기 위해서는 여러분이 이게 뭐 어떤 구성이고 뭐가 그거를 머리로 이해를 하는 것보다 이 패턴을 그대로 가지고 소재만 바꿔서 여러 얘기를 많이 해보는 거, 그게 제일 좋아요. Alright? 윤공주님 되게 오랜만에 오신 것 같은데? Thank you. Thank you for the extra support. I really appreciate that. Thank you very much. And yes, congrats. Congrats. 야, 윤공주는 예전에도 슈퍼챗 많이 쏘시는 분 같은데. I feel like if I remember correctly, this is not her first time coming in with a super chat. 맞죠? Am I remembering correctly? Most of the time I drink protein nowadays is when I'm working out. 그쵸? 이런 식으로요. Most of the time I feel relaxed nowadays is when I'm being alone. When I'm alone. Most of the time I listen to music nowadays is when I'm working. 다른 거. Most of the time I read books is when I'm depressed. Okay, yeah. Most of the time I'm on the phone is when I'm on break. When I'm on a break. Yeah, or when I'm taking a break. Yeah. when I'm on a break. Okay? Most of the time I eat Korean food these days is when I'm outside. Oh, okay. Okay. All right. Most of the time I watch TV is before I go to bed. Okay. Yeah. Okay. 그리고 이것의 해석이 어떻게 되는지. 그리고 여러분이 지금 응용 문장으로 만드는 것도 해석이 어떻게 되는 건지도 꼭 한 번씩 확인을 하고요. 왜냐하면 막상 해석해놓고 보면은 내가 이렇게 얘기를 하고 싶었던 건 아닌데 이런 생각이 또 들 수가 있어요. Okay? So most of the time I listen to music nowadays is when I'm working. 이게 무슨 뜻이라고요? 요즘은 내가 음악을 듣는 거는 거의 일할 때거든. 거의 이때거든. Okay? Most of the time I listen to music nowadays is when. Okay, most of the time I do this is when I'm working. Okay. All right. 떼어놓을게요. Yeah, but it's not so much for pleasure as it is for focusing. It's not so much that I enjoy listening to it as it is a way for me to focus better. 내가 뭐 그거를 듣는 걸 좋아한다기보다는 그런 거라기보다는 좀 더 잘 집중을 하기 위한 방법이다. 그게 말이야. 내가 요즘 음악을 들을 때는 거의 일을 하고 있을 때거든. Okay? 거의 일을 하고 있을 때거든. 그렇게 이제 이어지는 거예요. It's not so much that I enjoy listening to it as it is a way for me to focus better. You see, most of the time I listen to music nowadays is when I'm working. Okay, is when I'm working. Okay, yeah. Maybe it's time for a break. What time is it? 9:56. Okay. Most of the time I actually read books is when I'm commuting. Very good. I like this. 이거는 뭐뭐를 할 때만 물을 마신다고요? It's kind of counterintuitive because you should be drinking water when you're thirsty, right? That's usually when you should be drinking. So it sounds a little awkward. I mean, the grammar is okay, but 그거는 이제 맥락에 따라서 달라져요. 맥락에 따라. It depends. 그거는 그러니까 내용 없이 문자로만 어떤 공식을 세울 수는 없어요. It depends. 그래서 이거를 하실 때 일단 다른 분들이 지금 하시는 것처럼 일단 틀려도 좋으니까 막 말을 만들어 봐요. 막 해봐요. 그러다 보면은 이제 여기서는 이게 되고 안 되고 물론 그거를 뭐 매 순간 누가 다 확인해주고 교정해주고 뭐 그럴 수는 없을 거예요. 그래서 챗GPT 같은 것도 활용하시면 좋고요. 활용할 줄 알면은요. 오케이. 근데 일단은 공식을 먼저 세운 다음에 거기에 맞춰서 하려고 하기보다는 일단 틀려도 좋으니까 막 해보세요. Most of the time I watch your videos is when I'm driving. is가 빠졌네요. is when I'm driving. 아마 지금 운전하고 계셔서 아마 오타가 난 것 같은데. Most of the time my dad listens to radio is when he goes hiking. 자 보세요 여러분. 이런 말을 왜 하는지 지금 이거 같은 경우는 좋은 예거든요. 왜냐면 이거 같은 경우는 무슨 내용이나 이어질 수가 있느냐. 그래서 라디오가 작고 가벼워야 한다. 이런 내용이랑 연관시켜서 좀 생각하면은요. 왜 우리가 이렇게 말을 하게 되는지에 게 좀 더 느껴질 수도 있어요. 예를 들어서, hey, I'm looking for a radio that I can give my dad as a birthday gift. Do you have any good? Do you know any good radios or good radio models? 라고 했을 때, hey, how about this one? 라고 했는데, 이건 너무 커요. Oh, no, it has to be smaller than this. 이것보다는 작아야 돼. 왜요? Because most of the time my dad listens to the radio is when he's hiking or when he goes hiking. Okay? this is a good example. This is a good example because it immediately is linked to why we would say something like this. Does that make sense? Okay. Most of the time I eat late night snacks is when I do something good. Okay. 뭐 예를 들어서 뭐 이 소재를 가지고 약간 연습을 한다면 예를 들어서 뭐 야 그건 you know isn't that too sweet? Those are really bad for you. 예를 들어서 무슨 뭐 Butterfingers, Twix, Reese's Pieces 이런 진짜 몸에 안 좋은 그런 chocolate snack 같은 거를 막 사고 있어요. Hey, are you sure you're gonna buy those? Those are really bad for you. 근데 hey, it's okay. I don't eat these very often anyway. Most of the time I eat sweets like this is when I'm working late. And that only happens about once a week. 뭐 이런 식의 또 얘기가 나올 수도 있겠죠. Okay. Kit Kat. All right. Hey, but you can say, you know, it's okay because, you know, most of the time I eat Kit Kats is when I'm, you know, watching LA streams. And he only streams like once or twice a week these days, so it's fine. Yeah, Twix are good. They're so good. I love Twix. And I love Reese's Pieces. Have you tried Reese's Pieces peanut butter cups? Those are awesome. Reese's Pieces peanut butter cups. They're my favorite chocolate snacks. Reese's Pieces peanut butter cups. Yeah, those are so good. Peanut butter cups. Okay. All right, so it's not so much that I enjoy listening to it as it is a way for me to focus better. You see, most of the time I listen to music nowadays is when I'm working. 그래서 이거랑 이제 상관이 있어지는 거죠. 요거랑. 이렇기 때문에 it's a way for me to focus better. And the reason this matters is because most of the time I listen to music nowadays is when I'm working. Okay. 그거 대학교 때 원어민 쌤이 학교 CU에서 2박스씩 샀던. Yeah. Oh man. Snack your way to, you know, obesity. Obesity and heart diseases. Yeah. Most of the time I watch Friends is when I don't have anything to watch. Oh, okay. Yeah. Most of the time I eat chocolate nowadays is when I'm working. Okay. Yeah. So that's a lot. that's a lot, yeah. Most of the time my husband gets home late is when he gets drunk. Yeah. Okay. All right, let's take a break. I think we've earned ourselves a break. Let's take a break. This is so funny. Most of the time he's nice to me is when he needs some money. Yeah, goodness. I look like a rapper. Like a gangster rapper? 제가 오늘 미드를 공부하다가 lest라는 접속사를 들었는데 it's like unless랑 비슷한 거 아니냐? 아닌가요? 근데 사전에는 주요 표현이라고 나와 있더라고요. 미드보는 새로운 표현이 무궁무진해. Yeah. lest랑 unless otherwise랑 비슷한 건가? Yeah, otherwise랑 비슷하겠네요. Otherwise. Yeah. Otherwise랑 비슷하겠네. Otherwise it will. Yeah, something like that. Lest we forget. Yeah. Yeah. Lest we forget이었으면은 맥락에 따라서는 일단 제가 알기로는 그렇게 하지 않으면은 이렇게 하지 않으면은 잊어버릴 테니까 아마 이런 느낌이었을 거예요. I think that's my best guess. 꽃이라고요? Really? I never thought of it that way. 그런가? Yeah. Now that you mention it, it does kind of look like a flower. Okay, more morning. When I'm working, I almost always listen to music. 이렇게 쓰면 의미가 같을까요? 지금 이거를 이제 해석을 해놓고 보면은요, 나는 일하고 있을 때는 거의 항상 음악을 듣는다. 그렇게 해석이 되죠. 내가 일하고 있을 때는 거의 항상 음악을 들어. 라는 거고요. 지금 여기서 얘기한 most of the time I listen to music nowadays when I'm working 라는 것은 난 요즘 내가 요즘 음악을 들을 때는 거의 일할 때야. 그쵸? 뭔가 좀 더 제한적인 느낌으로 얘기를 하는 거. 그러니까 그 음악을 듣는 시간이 뭔가 딱 어느 다른 working이라는 activity랑 링크를 시킴으로써 그게 굉장히 제한적이다라는 느낌을 주잖아요. 그쵸? lest가요. 그렇게 일상회화에서 많이 쓰이지는 않아요. At least based on my own experience, it's not used that often. I don't hear it that much. And I spend almost all day, every day listening to English, and I don't really hear it that much. Yeah. 그렇죠. 약간 이런 의미가 많이 포함이 돼 있어요. 지금 이렇게 얘기를 하면은요. 이거요. Lest ugliness invade the vision of female loneliness, male fantasy. Yeah. That's a difficult sentence. 네네, 요런 느낌이에요. 네. Yeah. 미드 공부의 문제점이 그런 것 같아요. 새로운 표현이 많아서 다 외우기는 overwhelmed. 뭐가 중요한지 구별하면서 해야 할 텐데. 그러니까 그 좀 priority를 가지고요. 물론 이제 모르는 거다, 그쵸? 모르는 거라고 해서 다 담아둔다기보다는 이렇게 쭉 보면서 이거는 진짜 내가 쓸 일이 분명히 있을 거야. 이거는 진짜 너무 평소에 자주 쓰는 건데, 아니면 이건 진짜 내가 평소에 궁금했던 건데, 이런 거를 위주로 담으면서 그리고 제가 권하는 것은 네, 다 담기보다는 you don't have to pick up everything. Just the things that you want to mainly focus on. 그는 사회생활을 잘해 라고 말하고 싶은데 적절한 표현이 있나요? I can't think of anything. 일단 생각나는 것 중에 하나는요. 그리고 I think the simplest and very effective way to say that 의외로 그러니까 제가 만약에 그렇게 얘기를 하고 싶잖아요. 제가 because I don't know a better way to say that. The best that I can think of is people love him. People love him. That's what I would say. People love him. People love him. People love him. That's what I would say. People love him. 그러니까 그거를 물론 이제 하나의 ability라는 맥락으로 물론 이렇게 말을 할 수는 있어요. 뭐 he has great interpersonal skills 뭐 이런 말도 있어요. 이게 우리말로 뭐죠? Having great interpersonal skills? 그 사람 간의 어떤 그런 무슨 의미인지는 알겠죠. Having good interpersonal skills, but that would I wouldn't really use that expression very much. I would just say people love him. People love him. People love him. Or people love her. Yeah. 설령 미드에 이게 나왔더라도 사실 오늘 처음 듣는 거라 캐치하지 못했을 때. Yeah, that's very very possible. Okay. I think we should continue. Let's continue. When I get drunk, I almost always dance. Okay? 네, 그렇죠. 술만 마시면 늘 춤을 춘다. Yeah. When I get drunk, I tend to dance. 저라면 이제 텐트라고 할 것 같긴 해요. 그런 경향이 있는 거. 여러분 그런 식으로 얘기하는 것도 있다는 거 잊지 마세요. Only when. 뭐뭐를 했을 때만 뭐뭐를 한다. 아마 아까 예문 보니까 그게 어울릴 법한 그런 예문들이 좀 보였어요. 나는 이럴 때만 뭐뭐를 한다. I do this only when I do this. Or only when I'm in this condition. Only when 이라는 게 있다라는 거. 그것도 있고요. So think about that, okay? Okay. Sun님 says, most of the time I listen to music nowadays is either when single, very, very good, is either when I lift weights or when I'm on my way somewhere. Go somewhere 보다는 when I'm on my way somewhere. Yeah. Okay. 얼마 안 남았어요. So 어디서부터 여기까지 왔는지 한번 볼까요? So what kind of music do you listen to? What kind of music do you listen to? Well, as far as my favorite genre goes, I'd have to say classical. No, seriously. Yeah. Really? Classical? You. Why does that surprise you? No, it's just unexpected is all. I see. Well, what about you? What kind of music are you into? Mostly gangster rap. Gangster rap? Yeah, but it's not so much for pleasure as it is for focusing. 또는 yeah, but it's not so much that I enjoy listening to it as it is a way for me to focus better. You see, most of the time I listen to music nowadays is when I'm working. And it helps me focus. 라고 했더니, that's interesting. I know. 하면서 여기서 이제 이어서 어떤 얘기를 할 거냐? 어떤 얘기를 할 거냐면 이 그대로 할 얘기를 그대로 한국어로 그대로 드리기보다는 그냥 어떤 내용의 얘기를 할 건지를 말로만 얘기를 해볼 테니까 여러분 머릿속으로 한번 상상해 보시고 뭐 채팅으로 쓰셔도 되고요. 어떤 얘기를 할 거냐면 그 꾸준하게 이어지는 그 박자와 그리고 그 박자와 거의 완벽하게 딱 들어맞는 그 랩이 신기하게도 약간 그게 정확히 그게 어떻게 해서 그렇게 되는 건지 모르겠는데 그게 신기하게도 그 이게 배경음악으로 이렇게 쓰기가 참 좋더라. 뭐 이런 비슷한 얘기를 할 거예요. 네? 뭔가 그 꾸준하게 이어지는 박자랑 거기에 딱 들어맞는 그 랩이 신기하게도 그게 배경음악으로 쓰기 좋더라. 그런 비슷한 얘기를 할 거예요. Alright? So 이제 곧 보여드릴게요. 여기서 이제 어떤 키 익스프레션이 있어요. 어떤 핵심 표현이 있는데 여러분 어떤 표현을 좀 써봤으면 좋겠냐면 지금 여기에서 그게 정확히 뭐에 의해서 그렇게 되는 건지 모르겠는데 신기하게 그런 부분이 있다. 신기하게 이런 효과가 있다. 이럴 때 쓰는 표현이 있어요. 힌트를 드릴게요. Yes, 유니허님. Very good. 이거요. There's something about. 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 그래서 이 내용을 넣어서 얘기를 하자면은요. That's interesting. Yeah, I know. 그러게 나도 알아 하면서 there's something about 그 꾸준하게 들려오는 그 박자를 이제 어떻게 그냥 간단하게 the constant beats라고 할 거예요. The constant beats. There's something about the constant beats. There's something about the constant beats and the rap that's usually in perfect sync with those beats that make for a great distraction-free background music. There's something about the constant beats and the rap that's usually in perfect sync with those beats, that make for great distraction-free background music. Very, very hardcore, yeah? Very, very hardcore. 자, 이 문장의 구성을 보면은요. 이 문장의 구성을 보면은 There's something about A and B that make for great distraction-free background music. 이게 일단 이거 이해되세요? There's something about A and B that make for great distraction-free distraction-free background music. 그래서 지금 이 문장이 어려운 이유가요. 사실 A, 특히 B에 좀 많은 내용이 들어갔어요. 뭐가 들어가느냐? The rap that's usually in perfect sync with those beats. 이게 B에 들어갔고 the constant beats가 A고요. There's something about the constant beats, one, and the rap that's usually in perfect sync with those beats, two, that make for great distraction-free background music. Does that make sense? There's something about the constant beats and the rap that's usually in perfect sync with those beats that make for great distraction-free background music. There's something about이라고 얘기하는 이유가요. 아마 어떤 분들은 이제 질문을 하지만 않을 뿐이지 이 표현을 왜 쓰는지 궁금할 수도 있는데 there's something about이라는 것은 그게 정확히 어떻게 해서 그런 효과가 있는 건지는 모르는 거예요. 근데 일단 힌트는 있어요. 이게 뭔가 있는 거예요. 그 계속 꾸준하게 그 들려오는 박자랑 그 박자와 딱 맞는 그 랩이 뭔가 어떤 효과가 있어서 이런 결과를 만든다. 이런 걸로 쓰기에 좋다. Okay. So there's something about the constant beats and the rap that's usually in perfect sync with those beats that make for great distraction-free background music. 네. 지니님이 지금 잘 해석을 해주셨는데요. 이거를 약간 더 의역을 하면은요. 물론 이건 거의 의역이라고 할 수도 없는데 조금 더 자연스럽게 하면 그 뭔가가 있죠. 이 뭔가가 이게 요 앞으로 와요. 배경음악 앞으로 와요. 꾸준하게 들려오는 박자와 그 박자의 랩이 완벽하게 맞아 떨어지는 게 뭔가 배경음으로 쓰기가 좋아. 이렇게만 해도 좀 더 자연스럽죠. 그렇죠? 쓰기 좋은 뭔가가 있다라기보다는 떨어지는 게 뭔가 배경음으로 쓰기 좋아. 꾸준하게 들려오는 There's something about the constant beats and the rap that's usually in perfect sync with those beats that make for great distraction-free background music. Distraction-free. 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 거슬리지 않는? 방해가 안 되고 거슬리지 않는? Yeah. 집중을 해치지 않는? Yes. That's right. 조현성님, thank you very much for the extra support. What's this? try의 tr를 ch로 발음을 한다고 하셨는데 굳이 한국어로 보면 추에 가깝나요? 아니면 추에 가깝나요? 사실 우리말에서 그 추와 그 추는 발음 똑같지 않나요? 그렇지 않나요? 추와 추. 피카츄. 심지어 피카츄 할 때 그 추가 유인지 우인지 모르겠어요. 추파춥스 할 때 유인가요? 우인가요? I don't know. 추석? 그쵸? 추석? 추석. 네, 어쨌든 네, 추로 보는 건 맞아요. 근데 추라기보단 치에 가까워요. 치, try. 추? try? try는 아니고 try. 이제 모음만 놓고 보면 그런데 자음이 붙으면 똑같지 않나요? 자음이 붙으면 똑같잖아요. 이게 유라고 해서 치유라고 하진 않잖아요. 그냥 추잖아요. 추리닝. 그러네. 자음 중에서도 이응이 있네요. Yeah, you're right. 근데 이제 치읓 같은 경우는 I think it's the same. Yeah. 입술. try 할 때요? 난 또 추 할 때 입술이 너무 많이 나왔는데 저는. Try, yes, try. Okay. I know. There's something about the constant beats and the rap that's usually in perfect sync with those beats that make for great distraction-free background music. Yeah. 이거를 이제 이렇게 분리해서 볼 수도 있겠네요. 보세요. 이거를 먼저 분리해서 놓고 보세요. 여기에다가 이렇게요. The constant beats and the rap that's usually in perfect sync with those beats make for great distraction-free make for great distraction-free background music. And there's something about that. 뭐 굳이 그렇게 볼 필요는 없겠지만. Anyway. Okay. All right. T가 지워졌다고요? 네, 달라져요. Yeah. 랩 뒤로 나오는 that 뒷문장은 모두 랩을 설명하는 내용인 거죠? I don't know. 랩 뒤로 나오는 that 뒷문장은 what? I don't know. No, I understand, but 그렇대요. 그렇대. Okay. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. He's distracted. Okay. 소리를 너무 높이 높이? 어? 높이. 왜 갑자기 이게 헷갈리지? 이거 아니에요? 이라고요? 아, 높게? 높이지만 소리를 너무 높이지만 않으면 Okay, so how do we say this? 잠깐만. 그쵸? 잠깐만. 아닌데. 눕히다. 이건 이게 맞아요. Okay. So, how do you spell metronome? Is that right? As long as I don't crank it up too high, it's almost like a metronome. 그러네요. You're right. You're absolutely right. Yeah. Yeah. So as long as I don't crank it up too high, it's almost like a metronome. Noisy metronome. There's something about the constant beats and the rap that's usually in perfect sync with those beats that make for great distraction-free background music. As long as I don't crank it up too high. You could say as long as I don't crank the volume up too high, you could say that. But it's not necessary. You can say, as long as I don't crank it up too high. As long as I don't crank it up too high, it's almost like a metronome. Crank up. 영화 촬영할 때 쓰는 말로만 알았어요. Oh, no. It's talking, it could be any kind of volume. Crank it up. Yeah. 그게 왜 그런 의미로 쓰이는 건지는 모르겠지만, they say it. Yeah. Like television, like anything. Anything that has a volume, you can crank it up. Yeah. crank가 기계를 더 세게 돌리다 이런 뜻이 있다고요? Oh, I didn't know that. crank up은 너무 시끄럽게 틀 때만 쓰나요? 아니면 소리 조금 더 키워줘 할 뜻은 그게 딱 어떤 선이 있는 표현은 아니에요. 그 의미적으로 그게 딱 뭔가 그게 이 정도 되면은 이제 crank라고 할 수 있다. There's no definitive way to say that. 근데 그러니까 이런 거죠. 야, 그 소리 좀 키워봐. 잠깐만, 좀이 있어. 그러니까 crank는 안 돼. 이게 또 안 그래요. 그냥 야, 그 소리 좀 키워봐. 그랬을 때, hey, could you crank that up? 해도 돼요. 이렇게 해도 돼요. It makes sense. It's okay. Yeah. 그렇게 하면 이제 좀 그냥 표현이 그냥 그런 거죠. 그냥 좀 잘 들리게, 좀 확실히. Yeah. Yeah, sure. Yeah, could you crank that up? Yeah. 오케이, alright. 그리고 마지막으로 그래서 이거에 대해서 사람이 oh, okay. That actually makes sense. That actually makes sense. Oh, okay. That actually makes sense. I don't know. Does it make sense? What kind of music do you listen to? Well, as far as my favorite genre goes, I have to say classical. No, seriously. Yeah, really. Classical, you. Why does that surprise you? No, it's just unexpected is all. I see. Well, what about you then? What kind of music are you into? Mostly gangster rap. Gangster rap? Yeah, but it's not so much for pleasure as it is for focusing. It's not so much that I enjoy listening to it as it is a way for me to focus better. You see, most of the time I listen to music nowadays is when I'm working. And it helps me focus. That's interesting. I know. There's something about the constant beats and the rap that's usually in perfect sync with those beats that make for great distraction-free background music. 이거는 뒤로 뺄게요. It's not part of the main dialogue. So as long as I don't crank it up too high, it's almost like a metronome. Oh, okay. That actually makes sense. That actually makes sense. What kind of music? What kind of music do you listen to? Well, let's see. As far as my favorite genre goes, I'd have to say classical. No, seriously. Yeah, classical. Really? Classical? You? Why does that surprise you? No, it's just unexpected is all. Okay, I see. Well, what about you then? What kind of music are you into? Mostly gangster rap. Gangster rap? Yeah, but it's not so much that I enjoy listening to it as it is a way for me to focus better. You see, most of the time I listen to music nowadays is when I'm working, and it helps me focus. That's interesting. I know. There's something about the constant beats and the rap that's usually in perfect sync with those beats that make for great distraction-free background music. So as long as I don't crank it up too high, it's almost like a metronome. Okay. That actually makes sense. I'm okay. I mean, thank you for saying so, but all I'm really trying to do is trying to give you the best secondhand experience as I can. The best experience as I can. Like, I want to make this sound as real as possible, and that's what all I'm trying to do here. Yeah, what kind of music do you listen to? Well, as far as my favorite genre goes, or as far as my favorite genre is concerned, I'd have to say classical. No, seriously. Yeah. Really? Classical? You? Why does that surprise you? No, it's just unexpected is all. Okay, I see. Well, what about you then? What kind of music are you into? Me, mostly gangster rap. Gangster rap. Yeah, but it's not so much that I enjoy listening to it as it is a way for me to focus better. You see, most of the time I listen to music nowadays is when I'm working. And it helps me focus. That's interesting. I know. There's something about the constant beats and the rap that's usually in perfect sync with those beats that make for great distraction-free background music. So as long as I don't crank it up too high, it's almost like a metronome. Oh, okay. That actually makes sense. Yeah, it was kind of hard today. There was a lot of difficult things, I think, here and there. What was the most difficult one? Was it the last one? This one here? Was this the most difficult? Something about the constant beats and the rap that's usually... Yeah, I guess this was the most difficult part today, right? 높이다? 높이다 was the most difficult. 랑 유가 제일 어려운데. Yeah, it's not so much as it is. Well, as I always say, it's not really about understanding every little bit. It's not about understanding every little detail. It's more about just allowing yourself to experience it. Allowing yourself to experience it as much as possible. 자연스럽게 하고 싶네요. Yeah, that has to be pretty hard. It can't be easy. But 근데 그거를 꼭 얘기를 하고 싶어요. 지금 이런 거를 느낀 게 PB가 그런 자연스럽게 하고 싶다. 이런 게 있을 때 어떻게 하라고요? 그거를 써붙여 놓으라고요. 그거를 그냥 그런 마음을 갖고 있는 것에서 실제로 그거를 컴퓨터에 가서 입력을 한 다음에 그걸 프린터로 연결해서 출력해내서 그걸 이제 오려낸 다음에 그거를 벽에다 붙이기까지 가는 게 정말 어렵다라는 건 알아요. I know that's... And if you really think about it, it's not that hard, but it's surprisingly hard. 그런 게 진짜 의외로 어려워요. 뭔가 실천을 한다라는 게. 근데 it's really worth it, I think. I feel like it's really, really worth it. Yeah. No, seriously, 이것만 자신 있게 할 수 있다고요? Yeah, that's great. Even that's hard for some people. Even that is hard for some people. 그래서 그런 게 근데 정말 중요해요. 이게 운동도 그렇고 음식도 그렇고 그게 뭐 there's no one size fits all solution or method for everybody. 그렇죠? 모두를 위한 딱 누구한테나 다 최적의 효과가 있는, 최상의 효과가 있는 그런 게 있지가 않아요. 그래서 본인이 느끼는 게 참 중요해요. 저 말 나 자주 하는데. 왜냐면 자주 하는 말이 개개인마다 다를 수가 있잖아요. 그렇기 때문에 나한테 와닿는, 나 저런 말 하고 싶어. 나 이런 말 자주 쓰는데. 이런 게 기준이 돼야 돼요. 내가 뭐부터 배우고 뭐는 나중에 배우는지 이 기준이 되는 게 바로 그거여야지 누가 알려주는 그거 that doesn't really matter. Right? So 연습을 그냥 이제 뭐 네, 일단 it depends on how you feel. I mean, do you feel that this is useful? Then, yeah. I think it's not so much that Sam enjoy acting as to it as it is a way for us to focus. Yeah, I mean, it's not so much that I enjoy enacting these dialogues as it is a way for me to provide a realistic experience for you. Because I think that's really important. I don't want you to only look and read what's on the screen. I want you to really imagine this dialogue happening. And the only way to really do, well, I guess it's the first step. The first step to actually doing that is to, do my best to give you a close to real life enactment of the dialogue. Anyway. All right, one last time. One last time. Why is this so long? So, hey, what kind of music do you listen to? Well, as far as my favorite genre goes, I'd have to say classical. No, seriously. Yeah. Really? Classical? You? Why does that surprise you? No, it's just unexpected is all. I see. Well, what about you then? What kind of music are you into? Me, mostly gangster rap. Gangster rap? Yeah, but it's not so much for pleasure as it is for focusing. Or, yeah, but it's not so much that I enjoy listening to it as it is a way for me to focus better. You see, most of the time I listen to music nowadays is when I'm working. And it helps me focus. That's interesting. I know. There's something about the constant beats and the rap that's usually in perfect sync with those beats that make for great distraction-free background music. So as long as I don't crank it up too high, it's almost like a metronome. Okay, that actually makes sense. No, I think that's perfectly normal. That happens to me too. Yeah, when I'm like really focused and into whatever it is that I'm watching. And it's the same thing. Like when you are watching someone cry, when you're seeing someone cry, you tend to get really sad, So. Oh, by the way, Dog Man is a really good movie. And I'm going to be totally honest with you. It was my first time. Yeah, I believe so. I believe so. It was the first time I ever cried during a movie. I believe it was, yes. It was the first time I actually cried watching a movie. The very first time. Yeah, I'm trying to remember if I ever cried watching another movie. Oh no, there was another time. There was another time. I think. Does anybody know the movie starring oh shoot. Anthony Hopkins, and in the movie he spends some time he spends time, I think he spends quite a long time with some gorillas in the jungle. And then something happens to those gorillas and somehow Anthony Hopkins, he winds up in jail for some reason. I don't know. Does anybody know that movie? Does anybody know the movie that I'm talking about? Anyway, that was I don't remember. I don't really I remember feeling very sad watching that movie, but anyway, so Dog Man. Very good. Very, very good movie. It was much better than I thought it was going to be. It was much better than I thought it was going to be. And yeah. It was yeah, I was really kind of taken aback by my own response while watching the movie. I was like, what the hell? I'm actually crying watching this movie. But it was, yeah. And it was great. I really loved the movie. It was probably one of my favorites. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, instinct. I think this is it. It's called Instinct. Yeah? Yeah. I think it was called Instinct. Yeah. It stars Anthony Hopkins. And I don't even remember the story. It was a long time ago. But in the movie, it was about him and some gorillas. I don't know. Maybe he hangs out with some... He becomes friends with like a family of gorillas or something. And like they become homies. And something happens to the gorillas. And I guess someone dies in the process. And somehow he winds up in jail. And something happens after that. And that was very sad. I don't know why. I don't even remember why it was sad. But I remember feeling very sad. But this one was on another level. Oh, yeah. This one was on another level. Yeah. Very, very good. Okay. 항상 제가 일이 있을 때 스트리밍 하시는 것 같네요. 오늘도 놓치다니. Yeah, 일부러 그러는 거예요. Bob Frank 님이 일하실 때 일부러 골라서 스트리밍 Obviously kidding. Obviously kidding. Cocaine Bear. 그것도 재밌었죠. Yeah. The Dog Man was really good. Ooh. Yeah. Superb acting. Superb acting. Anyway. Okay. 예능 보고도 우는 전 동물 보면 oh, yeah. Yeah, but you know, like I said before, everybody's different. Everyone has different trigger points when it comes to like very emotional responses. So you may actually feel nothing. It's possible that you may feel nothing, but I doubt that you will feel nothing. You will, I think it's going to be very, very emotional. Very, very emotional, I think. Anyway, okay, let's just want to read this one more time before we leave. So, hey, what kind of music do you listen to? Well, as far as my favorite genre goes, I have to say classical. No, seriously. Yeah. Really? Classical? You? Why does that surprise you? No, it's just unexpected is all. I see. Well, what about you then? What kind of music are you into? Me, mostly gangster rap. Gangster rap? Yeah, but it's not so much that I enjoy listening to it as it is a way for me to focus better. You see, most of the time I listen to music nowadays is when I'm working, and it helps me focus. That's interesting. I know. There's something about the constant beats and the rap that's usually in perfect sync with those beats that make for a great distraction-free background music. So as long as I don't crank it up too high, it's almost like a metronome. Okay. That actually makes sense. Yeah. Don't you think? Like, you know, I often find myself not feeling very much when my wife is crying while watching something. And, yeah, well, not often, but, you know, from time to time. Oh, shoot. That reminds me. Yeah. Oh, shoot. That brings back a very, very awkward memory. The movie Instinct. Can I tell you about this? I can't believe I remembered this. I think it was around that same time. I had just finished the movie Instinct, and I was feeling very emotional, very sad, and I may have been crying. And I think I got a phone call from my then girlfriend who told me that a Korean TV show had just ended. I think it was Secret Garden. Yeah. She had just finished, and she was actually crying about that, how sad it was. And she was telling me about the story and why it was so sad and why she was. And I remember thinking, what the hell is she talking about? Like, I didn't get it. Like, why is that so sad? And so, hey, I listened to her, right? And so I started telling her about Anthony Hopkins and the Gorillas and how sad that was. And she didn't get it. And that was it between us. We broke up. We broke up because of Anthony Hopkins and some gorillas. What? We can't get along. Yeah. It was after that. It was It was pretty much the end for us. Can't believe I remembered that. I'm pretty sure that's what happened. Yeah. Oh my gosh. It was just not meant to be. Just not meant to be. Anyway. It was just, it was a very clear indication that we were very, very different people. Yeah. So, just not meant to be. It's like, it wasn't in the cards for us. That's another idiom. It wasn't in the cards for us. It means that we weren't meant to be. No, that's the same thing. Yeah. Basically, we were not meant for each other. Yeah, we weren't meant for each other. Yeah, basically. Yeah. Pretty much. Yeah. Okay, so that's pretty much all I have for you today. Let's see. I'm just gonna copy and paste this. 누자효과님 says, I take it. It가 하나 빠졌네요. I take it you and your wife have a lot in common. Oh, yeah. I mean, what do we not have in common? That would be a lot easier question to answer. Anyway. Okay, so copy and paste that here. I don't know why I really felt the need to make this a hardcore version, but that's just how it turned out to be. I'm just going to put this in parentheses. Oh, not this. Oh, no, not this. save. Okay, I saved it. And Kana-nim, thank you very much for supporting me as a member. That's actually a big help. More than you know. More than you know. Thank you very much for supporting the channel. And Yeongam-nim is helping out with this information here. We don't have a fixed schedule, but when we do have streams, it's usually at 9 at night. Yeah. Where's Chan? We need a Mac. Are those computer parts of the Windows computer that acted last time executed? Yeah. Yeah, the computer parts back there. I am still using a Windows computer, just with different parts, but I had to execute the last one. And yeah, it's up there. To set an example for my future computers who may want to decide to act up. It's just a reminder for them to behave. Yeah. Yeah, it may be. I understand, but it's effective. Ever since I did that, my computers haven't been acting up on me, so that's good. I don't know if it's because of time. I usually feel hungry after our class. Okay. Yeah, me too. A lot of the times. All right. Hey, thanks for spending time with me, and I hope I can see you all again very soon in a future live stream or in a future lesson video, okay? Have a great rest of your evening, guys. And peace out. Peace out. See you guys.